Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to teach you how to make lesson plan for accounting. First, we have the Blackboard entries. Then we have the summary of what today's lesson is all about. We have the definition of accounting. Then we have the teaching points. There are 3 teaching points: meaning of accounting, importance of accounting, and objectives of accounting. Then we have the main theme, which is what the lesson is all about. Accounting is a process of identifying, recording, measuring, and communicating the economic events of an organization. Then we have the terminology. Terminology is the meaning of difficult words that might be used in the lesson. For example, transaction, which means commercial activity. Assets, which means property used in business. Then we have the main facts, which will be covered in the lesson. There are 3. Accounting is useful in economic decisions about economic entities. Accounting is done on financial transactions. Accounting is done to keep a record of income and expenses. Then we have the objectives. There are 6 objectives. To write them, we are going to divide the page into 2 columns. First will be objectives and the second will be behavioral changes. So the 6 objectives are knowledge, understanding, application, skill, and interest and attitude. The behavioral changes will be explained to you in the class and you can copy that. Next up, we have the teaching method. Teaching method is how the teacher will teach in the class. So the teaching method used by the student teacher for this lesson would be question answer method and explanation method. Teaching aid is what the student teacher will use in the class, which is general classroom accessories and charts. Previous knowledge is what the students should know about to better understand today's lesson. So students should have basic knowledge of accounting. Then we have the introductory questions, which is how the student teacher will introduce the topic, introduce the lesson in the class. For that, again, we're going to divide the page into 2 parts. Student teacher activity is what the student teacher will say, and student activity is how the students will answer. So generally there are 4 to 5 introductory questions. For example, we have 4 here. First is what activities are done under business. Students should answer exchange of goods and services and so on. We have the developmentary questions. For that, we are going to divide the page again into 5 columns. Teaching points, student teacher activity, student activity, teaching aid, and blackboard work. Teaching point is the topic. So the first topic is meaning of accounting. Student teacher activity is how the student teacher will interact with the student. Student activity comprises of how the students will answer to the student teacher. Teaching aid is what the student teacher will use to better make the students understand. And blackboard work is what the student teacher will write on the blackboard. So the first teaching point is meaning of accounting. For that, the student teacher will ask these 5 questions. What does businessman write in the book? What do we call writing these transactions in the books? Who does this accounting? Why does businessman do accounting? What do you mean by accounting? These are the answers that the students need to give. We're not going to use any teaching aid. Then we have the teacher statement and a quote by R.N. Anthony. Then we have the importance of accounting. Again, we have 4 questions. Then we have the teacher statement. This is our student activity. This is the teaching aid. And this is the blackboard work. The last teaching point is objectives of accounting. Again, we have 4 questions and these are the answers that the students need to give. Then we have the teacher statement. There are 5 objectives: to maintain records of business, calculation of profit or loss, definition of financial positions, to prevent and detect fraud, to comply with legal requirements. This is our teaching aid. After the lesson is over, the teacher will ask the recapitulatory questions so that they can know if the students understood the lesson or not. There are 3 such questions. What do you mean by accounting? Why is accounting important for business entity? How does accounting helps businessman? Then we have the evolutionary questions. These are objective in nature. For example, we have choose anyone here. There are 2 such questions, and the students need to choose the correct answer from these 4 options. Next up, we have the very short questions. There are 2. Given objectives of accounting. When does accounting begins? Then we have short questions. Give meaning of accounting. What is the importance of accounting? Then we have the homework, which the student teacher will give the students to do at home. For that, we have one essay type question. Explain the meaning of accounting. Why is it important to us, and give its objective. So the student need to do this at home. Thank you very much. This is the end, and I hope you like it. Goodbye and good night.